The amount of money spent will never equate to the amount of love you're seeking. This is one of the most important parts of dating that I've been trying to get people to understand. When you see a relationship, especially when it comes to the sprinkle sprinkle mindset, which again I think is hilarious. If you understand that world, it's a world, it's not the whole world, it's just a part of the world. You understand that the exchange is, if this person is giving me all of this financial backing, then I have to give them either real love or the replication of what love looks like and feels like. And that's what she was explaining. You can fall in love, which is sometimes it's going to be a lot harder because there's more stuff you got to go through about learning that person. And there's growing in love, which is the same thing. You're going to be going through hardships as well, but you learn how to respect that person where they are without trying to change them. The thing that people have to remember is no matter what you do on a physical human level, it will never equate to that of God's energy. Light, love, that all encompasses the same thing. No matter how much we try, I always tell people it sounds like the craziest statement ever. But even the most heinous people had families and children, not because they were good to them, but there was a part of their body that needed to express that energy down there, and they end up either sustaining them or not. Again, all I want people to remember is sustenance doesn't mean they love you. How you love yourself is what's going to equate to love. If you come into a relationship with someone and they have everything to give you in the world, what they're seeking is someone who can keep them balanced and in a safe place. If they are distorted, then they are seeking power and they're going to want to try to use you and make you do whatever they want and then dispose of you when they're done. This is why I say it doesn't matter. If someone's buying you everything and they see that you're taking the bait, well, yeah, they have the right to dispose of you because you didn't show that you had any other quality besides wanting what they had without doing any of the work. Now, if you were equally yoked and you got your thing, and you got your money, and they got their money, and you both are coming at it from a power aspect, that's fine. But that's not a power couple. That's people who have ego trips. And this is where you start seeing those people where they start cheating on each other a lot. They have open relationships a lot and all this. Again, I'm not saying open relationships are negative, but the ones who do it in a distorted way and make it skeevy and gross, and you got a side chick and a side dude and all this, but the other person doesn't know about it, because that's the part that makes it distorted. If the person doesn't know, you're creating an energy that shouldn't exist. If the person knows, then that's y'all thing. Y'all grown, y'all mature, good for you. But you have to understand that when someone is giving you something, it is not your worth. Your worth is determined by you. Your value is determined by you. So anytime you put yourself in a situation, they've already said it. You've told me your value. I've said this in besides like in other videos I've written about it too on my blog site, where I've said I don't follow backstories anymore. I need to see the archetype first, because the archetype will sum up your whole backstory if you decide to put yourself in a category or an identity that is not your own. When you mask and become an identity that's not yours, it doesn't matter how beautiful of a person you are on the inside. You told me that as long as I fit this archetype, you will find a way to fit this archetype, even if it's not your identity. That's why I tell people, be careful about what you agree to. Same thing in love relationships. Don't be a bleeding heart where you love them so much and this your baby that y'all are just drained. You both are bleeding hearts, bleeding everywhere, big old mess, ain't nothing cleaned up. Every time y'all touch something, it's just marks, bloody marks everywhere. Why? Because no one took the time to put the pressure on to hold that in to let it heal. So y'all just bleeding all over each other. Just, oh, I wish you would love me, love me, love. Trust me, everything that is a currency is not a dollar sign. Currency comes in many different ways, and you have to recognize what is valuable to you. So when people go out there and they start putting things above themselves, we talked about the idea of ideology, or the word where you're trying to become something that you're not, like an idol, a false idol to an idea of something. Not so much that you can't look up to something and have respect for it, but if your whole idea in your representation of self and your actual personality is, this is just who I am. I'm only about money. I'm only about money. I'm only about sex. I'm only about sex. That's fine. But that's your identity now. And when people come to you and try to have a serious conversation or a serious whatever, it's not that you can't be taken seriously if you love money to the point that you don't care about family, or you love sex so much that you don't care about your body or health. It's to the point that you still believe that everyone else should be that way too. Everything is a free will choice. So how, again, you create your value. I'm never telling anyone to don't go out and have fun. But what do you want to represent? Some people are here to represent the most nastiest of the nasty, and we love them for it. We'll watch it all day. We'll turn on the videos and touch ourselves to it and all that stuff. That's fine. But if you don't want to become that, then don't become that. I'm just telling people everything exists for a reason. If someone is at that state of being that they're comfortable representing that idea of something to the point that their identity no longer exists, that's a choice. Remember, we are all here to fill up this vessel with something, and it can be pre-made, man-made, or God-made, and it's up to you. But you have to allow yourself to walk into your full value and worth to know which one you want to call in. So if you are only hanging out with the skeezies of the skeezy, and y'all having fun being nasty and running around and giving your body to everybody and doing whatever you want to do at no cost but a shot. Some people just give everything away for a shot. Okay, well, you could have went and bought a bottle. And did it for yourself. But you just gave this whole person everything of you because they bought you a drink. Cut it out. Same thing with anything else. If you understand your value, it's not about saying they need to buy you the most expensive thing either. That's ridiculous too, because now you're saying that your value has a price. So as long as the price is high enough, they'll pay it. Guess what? I know some people want that, but now you're someone's toy. Y'all love housewives, but y'all don't realize all of them. When Portia started out, she was miserable. And I remember that scene when all the women on the bus, and they were like, listen, we have fun on the show, but let us tell you this. We see you, and we see where you've been, and we know where we were. This man doesn't love you. He wants to control you. And young Portia was like, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. And guess what? She ended up getting divorced because she learned her value. It's not about the opulence. It's about the respect. And if there is no respect, then there is no value. You understand? You set that tone for yourself. So you have to know that when you walk out into this world, we're going to experience things at many different levels, but you can't let it make you fall apart. This life is going to be repetitive until you go. So all you can do is learn how to gather tools along the way. And if those tools turn into weapons, that is your choice. But understand, every time a tool becomes a weapon, you're going to repeat a cycle of somebody going to try to repeat the same thing to you. So I would rather hand someone a tool and say it's your choice to make it a tool or weapon, but I would make sure I am not around for them to figure out which one they're going to be to me. Okay? That's why I'm a good believer in. I'm going to tell you how I feel, but after that, I'm going to go ahead and just distance myself until I see that you've done the work. Because I don't want to put myself in a place when I know I have value, but then I drain everything about me that matters just to be with someone else because they can give me a type of lifestyle or opulence. Again, there's nothing wrong with having a beautiful, rich, opulent life, soft life. We all deserve that. But don't get to the point of arrogance that you think that now no one else deserves it, or the other person, they don't matter and they should just give it to you just because of what's between your legs. That's not, no, people, that's why people are getting annoyed with each other. That's how people get to the point of liking you but hating you, right? They talk about men liking women but hating them, and women who like men but hate them, because we've diluted it down to, unfortunately, again, because of society, the way they have taught men to believe, that they're only worth their parts. And so as long as they got a part, they'll get what they want. Unfortunately, there's enough feminine energy that's convinced them. As long as they got that piece, that big piece, they can do whatever they want. That's not value. That's lust. Anywho, I hope this one makes sense. Just find ways to make sure that you are balanced within self, and that whatever that balance of self is, you have an internal value that only you know, that no one else needs to know. That is for you. And if the right person comes in at the right time and they match all that, then beautiful. And if they have all that, then beautiful. And if they don't, then okay. But ask yourself, do I want financial value? Do I want emotional value? Do I want both? Do I want over the other? What do I want? Can I provide one for myself and they provide the other for me, right? Because we expect everyone to do everything for us, and that's not always going to be the case. So having that balance is key to knowing who you are, again, as far as what you bring to that table, because then, again, you don't have to ever ask that question of, am I worthy or not? Because you set the price. Love ya.